Good morning. I hereby call to order the December 1st, 2017 special council meeting of the City of Mayfield Heights. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. DeJohn,
Present.
Mrs. Finney, Mr. Mano,
Here.
Mr. Mercurio.
Here.
Mrs. Sabetta.
Here.
Mrs. Snyder.
Here.
Mrs. Teresi.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. So since this is a special council meeting, there will be no reports of committees, commissions, boards today, or a public portion. This is the third reading for Resolution 2017-76. Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Resolution number 2017-76, a resolution accepting a quotation for medical and prescription group health insurance, United Healthcare, and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2017-76? Moved by Mr. Mercurio.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Mano. Discussion. Ms. Zeller, would you like to step to the podium?
Good morning, Council. Thank you very much again for another meeting this morning in your busy schedule. To my group here, thank you for your support.
Small group.
I appreciate you waking up, but you didn't bring the donuts, so you may leave now if you'd like. First of all, I learned a lot from discussions and observations yesterday from the meeting that we had. So I felt it really important to share this with Council, as well as my supporters here. First of all, thank you for this opportunity to be able to explain the process in which my department handles legislative responsibilities from a financial standpoint. So when I look at the health benefits, I listen. I've heard you. I've heard you from all the concerns that you have, from how we make decisions and then bring it to council for your approval. So if I could back up a little bit, and pardon me, I just ran in and I'm out of breath because I'm out of shape. So with that said, the health benefits process in which we built today consists of a healthcare committee meeting, which is made up of a representative from 6 of the unions, 1 representative from a non-union department, and 4 administrators. In that committee, they have given the goal of finding ways to create cost-effective for both the city and the employees a health benefits plan that we can take to council and have them approve it. Now, where I believe the misstep, and I take full responsibility for this, is we didn't give enough information prior to requesting you to make a decision. So fair enough, I am listening to your concerns. I'm listening to your concerns. We have reduced cost, to your point, by 3.81. May not be significant, but we are moving towards what you expect of us as directors to look at cost-effective ways to maintain our city and sustain our financial position. But we do have a process, to your point, to ensure that we are not just pulling plans out of the air, but we are truly understanding what our responsibility as a group, as well as respecting your position on how we need to make decisions moving forward with the most important goal in mind, and that is cost management. I just wanted to share that with you, is we are listening, and we may not always deliver it in an effective way, but that is where I look at all of you to look at me and say, I'm gonna hold you responsible, so give me the information that I need to make good decisions. So I needed to share that. And then most importantly, excuse me while the comment was made to me yesterday that we continue to give and give until it hurts. And that was past practice. And if I look at past practice, I have to believe that at the time those decisions were made, past practice, it was good. Everyone believed it was good for the city. Now, all of you are here today, and we as administrators have to take a look at that past practice. We have to learn from it, and we have to enhance it for what is good for us today. And that is what all of you are expecting of us, directors, administrators, and that is what we have to do. So please understand that we know where you're coming from. We respect where you're coming from, and I can assure you we will move forward with more of an effective platform so that you can make good decisions and not have to worry about, okay, is there a hidden agenda? Or did they really look at this from a business perspective? And most important, for the betterment of our community and our taxpayers. I just wanted to give you that information and insight. And again, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Zeller. I do want to say that, you know, we understand healthcare. We understand how healthcare costs increase every year. So we admire you for going out and looking for the best plan that you can bring, you know, to the employees, because we all want a good healthcare plan and the best cost for the city. I mean, we acknowledge that. We understand that. I believe if things came to council, a little more information prior to the day you want us to vote on it, I think you'd have a much better result. We wouldn't have 2 special meetings. We would not have had a room full of scowling employees looking at us. And what I think the other thing everybody needs to remember is that these are great city jobs. Everyone, we have always given them their 3-year raises. We've given them longevity. They have city cars. We buy the gas for the car. We have given them merit raises. We have approved all of those things. Would you not agree?
I agree.
But we feel that as a legislative body, we have 20,000 residents who have elected all of us. We have to do our due diligence just like you should be doing yours. So it's not that we don't want to give you even more than you already have, but there has to be a way to do it productively on your side and on our side as well. Because as these health plans and union contracts are approved, the residents are listening and watching and saying, wow, I wish I made $90,000 and had a big fat, retirement plan. They make $50,000. So we're only trying to do our fiduciary responsibility. The more information we have, when you have something coming forward, the better it would work. That's my true belief. And today, here we are. There's no one out here. There's no one out scowling at us like there was yesterday. Did they feel that we were here because we weren't going to approve their health plan? I mean, that's a shame. They're strolling in now. Here they go. Maybe we should wait until the donuts arrive. I mean, seriously. We admire what our employees do. We have the best services around. But on the other side, we're elected officials. Our job is a fiduciary job. And you can put up one piece of paper in front of us and say, you should vote for this. That's just not enough. And I'm sorry, it's not just your department, it's all departments. I mean, that's just the way I feel. I represent the people that vote, that are out there, that make $50,000 or less a year, that can't afford to buy a house. We want to make sure everything is the right decision. So we need to have information before we vote.
Thank you, and I agree, and I agree. And I can assure you from a responsibility as a director and on behalf of my fellow colleagues, we are looking at things from a cost management standpoint. While we are learning and enhancing what the past practices are in place and not very easy to chip away at change, please know that we are, as administrators, we are. Our healthcare committee has grown and evolved over the last 2 years. It is led not only by administrators, but my successor, HR Relations Manager Renee Augustine. So we do have the best interest of not only the employees, because we do have their partnership and their buy-in, but we also, as administrators, are guiding the whole process of the healthcare committee with the cost factor in mind, and how do we go to council and give them this request and with good, valid backup to ensure that we are being fiscally responsible. So I appreciate that, I acknowledge it, and just know that our process is going to comply and continues to comply with cost management efforts moving forward.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
So, one question I have on the HSA plan that we'd be possibly approving today, does the employee get that money still? Does it still actually get that, and does it carry over?
For the HSA, with current language, and because negotiations are still in process, yes, by law, we have to follow the current contract language. Therefore, we have to offer HSA and HRA going into the 2018 plan.
So, I appreciate you coming here and discussing the process with us. And as I said yesterday, I'd like to see at least one of these council members on the committee next year.
I will discuss it
so
with the
they can have committee meetings with us and let us know what's going on. We're constantly in the blind. I never hear from anybody other than to get legislation the night before Thanksgiving and voting on it the following Monday. That's ludicrous to me. A contract that's going to cost the city $2.4 million, plus the funding of the HSA and the HRA. So you can see the position that the city puts this council in. It's really unfair to us. And as Mrs. Teresi said, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the residents of this city. And we have to make everybody here accountable for what they're doing.
I agree, and as a director, I take on that responsibility. So with that said, yes, we will do everything in our efforts to ensure that communication is provided in a timely fashion. And again, we only can move forward and enhance our processes and to ensure that we are complying with everybody of the city of Mayfield Heights. So thank you for your questions. And if I may, the employee support yesterday, really, if I may speak on their behalf, it wasn't to come in and scowl at you. And I would hope that you would take that as a message of support of what they believe and they selected as a plan that significantly affects them individually as well as their family's livelihood. So if you could take that from that perspective, that is what I believe the intent of their support, not only for the healthcare committee, but for our benefits, was intended to be.
And if you can tell the employees that, our budget right now is 78-point-some% payroll and benefits, and that we need to invest more in our streets and roads. And that money that we're getting from our corporate parks, that tax base, is not their money. It's the citizens of Mayfield Heights' money. So they need to understand that. And one other thing is, next year, I hope that this process starts 90 days before the contract is due, so we have the numbers far in advance.
The health benefits?
Yes, correct.
To respond, we will have involvement and more ongoing communications moving forward. As far as the process in which we do benefits renewal, we cannot begin until 90 days of it its expiration or termination of the plan. So we will look at ways to improve that effort. And on behalf of the employees, I work directly with the mayor as well as the directors, and they do understand the importance of the funding. Whether it may look like it or not, my discussions with them are truly about how are we going to maintain cost and still ensure the livelihood of our employees are in a position of their best interests moving forward. For me, when I look at the city of Mayfield Heights and the employees that work here, this is their career. This is the investment they made to the city. I don't have a vested interest because I came from the private sector, so this isn't my first experience of a career. So when I look at the employees, they're not doing it from a selfish standpoint. While that may be the perception, truly it is an understanding from the directors to ensure that we direct and educate and help them understand that we need to take a look at the future of the city, and we need to take a look at our department expenses to find ways to make it operating efficient. And for those in the private sector, you know the cost reduction, that the ability to control costs really focuses on operating efficiencies. Where are the wastes and what are we doing to correct it? And I can truly say, because of my discussions with all the directors, is they are attempting that effort with that focus in mind and try to do the best they can. And it's not going to be perfect, but again, if I may say, we are taking the past practices, we're learning from it, and we're enhancing it so that it's good for today.
And as you actively negotiate the new union contracts with all employees, I am personally going to want to see some comparisons from other cities and other cities that have a tax base like this city has. So, you know, it's not going to be just routine rubber stamp on approval of that contract. So I would appreciate you preparing that for whenever you decide to bring it to council.
We will have comparisons, we will have justification, and again, your input is important, so yes, we will communicate.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Thank you, Ms. Zeller.
Thank you.
Roll call on the motion to approve.
Mr. Mano?
Yes.
Mr. Mercurio?
Yes.
Mr. DeJohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Sabetta?
Yes.
Mrs. Snyder?
Abstain, my husband's employed by the city.
Mrs. Tressi?
Yes. Resolution 2017-76 has been adopted. Do I have a just a minute, Mr. DeJohn.
I have to get to work.
If your speech was shorter, you would have left earlier. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Mano, seconded by Mr. DeJohn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Our meeting is adjourned.